Giant show today as we head into the final weeks before the season kicks off for the Continental Football League and our San Antonio Toros. We're going to talk defensive back. We're going to talk all the news. And we're also going to talk about if the quarterback signing signified that Bedwell may have changed his offense just a little bit. But, Alex, go ahead.
Vamos Toros, baby.
This is Toro Talk, sponsored by Complete Care and South Tech Spine and Surgical Hospital. Alex, it's been a couple weeks. Last time we talked, we had Josh on the show, and he went into detail, and we did great numbers because everybody loves looking at Josh's face. So we decided to switch up the style a little bit here. We're going to cover news, then we're going to talk positions, and then we're going to have a debate. So, Alex, you ready to argue with me? Because we've been messing
that a little bit. Love fighting with you. It's great. Makes it fun. We don't need a show to fight either.
Let's jump in right into the news of the week. So we left off. It was April 28th-ish when we our last show, and obviously the Join the Stampede event. But first, we had a signing, right? Talib Shalunden, the defensive line out of UIW, Incarnate Word. This adds some muscle up there, right? It's someone that played college ball at a community college, Riverside City College, before going to San Diego State and then finishing the UIW. This seems like a guy that kind of can fit into that Continental Football League role, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, you see the signings, and as we go through the news, it'll continue to play itself out. More of the offensive and defensive line signings, which is really good to see. But, this is one where we, got a good athlete. He's played at a high level out at San Diego State. Riverside Community College has, great football history out there in that California league of the JUCOs. But yeah, big signing for us.
Yeah. And then I think the biggest thing on this tweet is that now they've signed 4 players from UIW and 5 from UTSA. Yeah. So it sticks with Josh's theme that he'll take Texas kid over anyone else.
Yeah, San Antonio's team.
Outback Steakhouse has joined on as the newest partner of the San Antonio Toros. Just another example of Josh and his team coming up with sponsors for this team. And it seems like San Antonio is really joining on with this team.
Yeah, we're building it the right way for sure. No question about it. Putting the roots in the community, the model works. The league, we're going to seed the league in this first year, and we'll be enjoying it for many years to come.
There you go. Offensive line, Jaleel Davis came over. I thought this was a big one here because this, his size, 6'7", 310. Obviously, that's a huge one. But the 3-star out of high school, went to NC State, went to FIU. It just seems like a guy that's going to add a lot to this offensive line right off the bat.
Yeah, 6'7", 310. That's bigger than the doorway. Yeah. So, what's the old saying? You can't coach size. So, and to your point, he played at State, he played at FIU. So here's a Division I, big frame, big body. Anxious to see what he can do for us this year.
Yeah, and play inside or outside, which is great to see. Versatility with a small roster, obviously, is going to make a big deal. Obviously, Join the Stampede went on. The jersey reveal, Alex. I've been waiting to hear your opinion here. The Stampede event was obviously huge, and here's the jersey reveal. Alex, your first obviously we saw mock-ups. We never saw it on a player.
Right.
What was your first take of these jerseys?
Well, the jerseys are really sharp. I really like them. The helmets are sick. I mean, the helmets are flat out. That's just, that's super sharp. We got the logo for it. It looks great. The jerseys, they did a really nice job with the jerseys. I like those. The colors are really, really cool with that, that what do they call it? Brick red, which is super sharp. And they'll have some fun combos out of that too, because you got 2 jerseys, 2 pants, so be able to mix it up there a little bit with some of the color combos. So well done, design team.
we know Ace is that graphics guy, and he's the one that made the logo and all that. And he really took the jersey and all the social media, all that kind of stuff. Ace is that guy, right? I asked him for his feedback on the jersey. I'm gonna read a direct quote. The biggest thing is that the away uniform has San Antonio up front and center. That's very intentional because we want to make sure that when we aren't in San Antonio, everyone knows that we're from San Antonio. So that was one of the big things. When we get a close-up of the jersey, you'll be able to see that it's bigger than I expected, I guess. And then the color scheme of the black helmet, the red jersey, the black pants is a direct callback to the original Toros. So that combo is exactly what, not exactly, it's a modern version of what the Toros had. So jerseys 1 through 10, I'm giving it a 9, 9.5, 10. I want to see it on action. I want to see 11 guys with it before I make the final call, but it could be a 10.
Yeah, I like it too. They did a great job.
Obviously, all the partners came out to support the Stampede event. It's just crazy how much Complete Care's obviously there. The vodka's there. Everything is there. And then they went to Carnival, which, Alex, you ever been to Carnival? Because I haven't.
I have not.
Yeah. I did not know this. They had the parade, and as you can see here, Toro stuff. They had a float for. There's 15 seconds left in this, but as you can see, it's a big event in San Antonio. Obviously, if you're from San Antonio, you already know this.
There's Coach.
Coach Bedwell's there, with his, and all the players got to get
their gear.
Toros. Yep, some Toros gear. So, and then the jerseys. There's the close up of the jerseys. I can't agree with you more that the helmets are so nasty. Like me and you talked about it, and you're like, and you saw the strap and everything. You're like, how do you put the bull there? But whoever designed where the sticker goes on the helmet knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They did a great job. And those uniforms are sharp. A little detail on there too. I like that oversized striping or coloring on the collar. That's pretty sharp too. I know that's kind of a trend, but I really like the way that looks. They did a great job. So hats off to them. And I think it'll look sharp when all 11 are out there with them on the field.
And then Carnival, they were there at the festival. If you were there, you knew exactly what it is. Toro's going to support the community.
Wow, look at all that gear too.
Yeah.
Hey, those cheerleaders are earning their keep too, boy. I tell you what, every time we see, some type of social media post for the Toros, the Matadoras are out there. So everybody's pitching in.
And the two quarterbacks there, we'll talk about the third one in a second. Josh is going to get his, but I thought this was a really cool story, that he was able to connect with the former San Antonio Toros son, the Height family. I just think it goes back to what Josh said, how he's connecting history with the way the jersey is, how they're connecting history to the modern era. And I think it creates a special bond in that city.
Yeah, they've done a great job playing in. I think that's an advantage. They've done a great job of playing into it, Yeah.
And then the tight end, obviously we had a opening with the promotion with the news that Oscar Cardenas went to the CFL with the Montreal Alouettes, which obviously that's the point of this league. They had to find a replacement. They bring in a UIW kid, another one, Austin Samaha. What do you think about kids getting picked up? Does that speak how great the signings have been that they're getting picked up before even playing a down for the Toros?
Yeah, already. I mean, we've got a couple. We had a running back who got picked up for the BC Lions. JJ Dallas, the defensive back for us, ended up getting signed and going someplace too. So, yeah, it shows me the scouting guys are all over it. And, I like seeing the signing of these local kids too, because, here's a guy who put up some pretty good numbers at UIW. That's good. I think that gives us now still 3 tight ends on the roster with Oscar being moved to the CFL. So welcome aboard.
And the thing about that I liked about here is that he had a rushing touchdown, so he's kind of like an H-back kind of.
Yeah.
If they go that route, or fullback, or he could be another backup running back. And then he's a long snapper, Alex.
Yeah.
Where the NFL scouts have paid attention to him. So now you got a long snapper that's not, and we've seen the USFL and the XFL and the UFL. They would have a guy that's only a long snapper, right? Luke Barnes from the Maulers, right? We covered him. Riley living good. But this guy will be able to catch the ball. He's got enough skill where he's going to catch the ball as a tight end, block, and also be a long snapper. So you don't have to use that roster position. A guy with flexibility and versatility is extremely important in leagues like this.
100%.
Then, Josh is going to post when he's busy. You see the whole team there. Josh is always going to post to prove that he is doing work. May 4th be with you. Alex, do you celebrate this?
No, I'd never heard of it. Somebody said that to me, and I was like, I guess they didn't have that back when I was a kid growing up. They had Star Wars, but we didn't celebrate May the 4th to be with you.
Fun fact, people may hate me after this. I've never seen a Star Wars movie.
I saw the first one. It was all downhill after that.
We're not going to pick up the Star Wars fans. And then one of the biggest signings, I think, Kelvin Durham, the QB. We'll talk QBs next week, but this is a big kid out of Fort Valley State, and then he switched with his coach over to Johnson C. Smith, all SIAC, all CIAA, 8,000 career passing yards, 78 touchdowns. It was an air raid offense. We'll talk about that a little bit different. It was a little different than the way Bedwell works it. What do you think about this signing? Because now the quarterback room is completely full.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it'll be interesting to get your take on Kelvin. Put up some big numbers. He's a good athlete, just true dual threat quarterback. So to your point, we'll talk more about it later. How does that impact the air raid?
Exactly. And then Joe Evans and Cade Collenbeck, go to the San Antonio Toros Twitter and Instagram, and you'll be able to see this. He's going into an escape room. They're in the community. They're out there, and they're having fun. So shout out to the Toros. The Matadoras also were there. 19 days. We're going to see graphics. Cinco de Mayo, obviously, in Texas. Cinco de Mayo is heavily celebrated. Did you have tacos? Did you do the traditional American thing and celebrate Cinco de Mayo, or
actually did? I think now that I think about it, Monday night we did have tacos.
Okay, all right. And then this is the big news. The first huge milestone was hit. $50,000 they've raised through the WeFunder. 64 people have invested into $50,000. There's still a goal left, but this is the first goal that Josh spoke about a couple weeks ago that he wanted to hit, and they hit it before the season. How great is that?
It's wonderful. You think about building good days, stacking good days. So the first goal was, hey, let's put a public offering out. Let's see if we can do this. There'll be other public offerings. So if you miss this, you'll still have a chance to get in later. But this was huge. It's always nice to set a goal and see it come through and to hit it. So congratulations to the team. Thank you to the people who have, ponied up their hard-earned money to be part of the Toros team.
The WeFunder link is on their Twitter and the Instagram, and it will be in the description below this video on YouTube if you want to join the team and join WeFunder. The jerseys, they're gonna put it out everywhere they possibly can. There's always a camera in someone's hand. Our quarterback coach, Coach Abrigo, was on the local radio, 99.9 Jalapeno Radio, about Toros Taco Tuesdays. It's just great that they're connecting with the community in all different types of ways. Obviously, we talked about it. Josh had to make a statement because, Josh will do that. And San Antonio, you own it. I think that's the biggest thing. And then they were at the Spurs games. Alex, are you watching the NBA playoffs?
Actually, I'm not. I haven't been watching. So I hope that doesn't.
Oh, you've been on the road. You've been traveling a lot. I've been sick. So and my Celtics are out. So I kind of fell off.
Celtics are out?
Yeah, they lost to the Sixers. They were up 3-1 and lost, man.
They were up 3-1. Are the Cavs still in?
The who? The Cavs? They are. They are.
I saw they beat the Raptors.
Yeah, they're down 2-0 or 3-0 to the Pistons. Every second round series has been a blowout so far, but except the San Antonio Minnesota one. So watch the San Antonio team. They're fun to watch. I know you and I talk basketball. I'm really big into basketball, but Wemby and Castle and De'Aaron Fox, it's a fun team. San Antonio winning tradition now. If the Spurs are back and the Toros are back, they're going to get back to winning in the city of San Antonio.
ABA champs.
Man, 17 more days, ABA champs. Alex, every time do we have to got to go back all the way back. To the quarterbacks, the light helmets are the official sponsor of, or the official helmet of the San Antonio Toros. It's great that they are connecting with brands that aren't just out of San Antonio too. And light helmets joining. Have you ever had a light helmet on your head?
No, we haven't had light helmets on our head, but it's interesting because, a lot of guys that, have played, that I'm friends with, that have played college football, that are still involved with football, when they saw this announcement, they were highly interested in light helmets from the standpoint of, we're always talking about safety in football and the equipment, and it's, evolved so much over the years. But, there's some people that are keeping a close eye out on how these light helmets do. So
17 days. Another signing, an offensive line, Noah McKinney out of NC Central State, North Carolina Central, 6'4", 300 pounds. Not as big as the other guy, but still pretty big, right?
That'll work. He's a tough guy to get around. It's a big frame.
Where he received the second highest grade for offensive lineman by NFL Draft Diamond. So just to let you know, kind of highly rated. Joe Tiasi out of New Mexico Military Institute and Louisiana Tech. West Texas A&M. I got to get your take here, Alex. And we're going to look like two old guys. With the transfer portal and all that, should we only list the last school instead of the 5 schools?
I don't know.
What I'm saying? Like, do we really have to say, as journalists, do we have to? And I respect his whole trek, right, from college all the way up to the CEO of the Continental Football League. But what should be the going way that we do this going forward?
Yeah,
just the last one where he ended up, or where he started and ended, and don't worry about the middle. Like, what should we do?
I think you have to look at it all, because when I look at a lot of these guys that, like, they came out of high school and maybe they went to like New Mexico military, so maybe, or they went to a JUCO, so that shows, all right, they had upside. You go into JUCO, and then where did they go from JUCO? Yeah. Did many of these guys, you see that they hit like, an A&M, Texas A&M or Texas or UTSA, or they hit a big school, and then maybe they finished at an FCS school. Yeah. So I do think it's kind of a nice guide around how their development has gone. Yeah.
16 days, another linebacker, Wesley Steiner. I know we already talked linebackers, but this one's kind of a beast, right? Like, you played at Auburn, you played at Washington State. Like, this guy's kind of legit.
Yeah, he's had NFL experience too. He's with the Raiders and the Steelers, Seahawks. So here's a guy that, again, you see that NFL experience, they've been in camp, these guys can play football.
4.38 40-yard dash and a 39 vertical is kind of insane.
Almost as fast as me.
Yeah, let's not go that far. All right, Alex, on a grade of 1 through 10, what do you think before we hit our commercial break, the news, like, is the anticipation, like, there's a lot of action there, and that's the reason why we kind of started that segment, because it's not just the jersey and setting up the league. And I know Josh sent us pictures of the football and all that kind of stuff. It's not just that. They're still active in the roster building. They're still active in building this. There's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, there are 51 guys on the roster now, and you see the offensive line. They could see a signing or two there, I'm guessing. Yep. The defensive line, they've signed a few guys. So I think we're pretty close. We go to camp, next week? I think it is. So, in our first game, preseason game against the Tennessee Hornets is actually 15 days from today. Yep. So there's a lot of work to be done. But I think when you see, again, it's going to be ongoing. And I think even after the season, you're going to see that community activity, those bonds. We're just starting to seed this thing. It's going to continue to grow within the community. So, yeah, lots of activity. Josh and the Toros admin team have some busy days for sure.
There you go. All right. We're going to take a quick break for South Texas Spine and Surgical, and then we'll come back and talk some defensive backs right here on Toro Talk.
South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center is named one of the top 5 hospitals in the state of Texas for joint procedures. Our integrated approach ensures a smooth journey from diagnosis to recovery. We are a tradition of excellence and a legacy of caring.
Thank you to South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital for being a proud partner of Toro Talk and the San Antonio Toros. All right, Alex, we'll run through the news. That's kind of my wheelhouse. Like, I'll stay up on it. You love the guys, which is not a problem. I'm not criticizing you when I say that. I just want to be very clear that I'm not criticizing you. You're more the football guy, more the GM guy. Let's talk defensive backs. So in theory, Jerry Glanville's defensive backs are like what?
Aggressive, get to the football, play downhill. I think close to the bone guys, not afraid to get dirty and real.
Yeah.
And I think, his philosophy, best way I can explain it is if you can get 8 hats on the ball, get 9. If you can get 9, get 10. Play to the echo of the whistle. And that's what I see when I look at this group. So there are 9 defensive backs in camp, and we got some good quotes from some of the coaches. I see size, I see speed, I see guys that are hybrid corner to safety, I see guys that are true safety, but all of them can play downhill and physical. Like that's the thing. Like all these defensive backs are physical.
Yeah.
So really excited. This is going to be another bunch too, that when you look at the position group, it's going to be hard to get that number down to meet those camp roster numbers for the regular season.
What I see about this is Campbell University and Pittsburgh State might be the only 2 small school guys. There's a lot of Power 4 schools here. I know ODU is a mid-major, but you got Arkansas, you got Florida State. Like we're talking Miko Dotson, man.
Yeah. He's 5'11", 197, and brings the CFL experience too. He was in Calgary. He was in rookie camp with the Texans back in 2002. You might remember him, Webb, from the New Jersey Generals in the USFL. And the book on him is he's good in man coverage and also good in zone. And he's a go get the ball kind of guy. So if it's up for grabs, he's going to go get it. So big play guy there. Not surprised out of Florida State. Then you mentioned Campbell University. That's the other one. Isaiah Green out of Campbell, 6'1", 200. He's another one too that he was up at Central Connecticut State, so up your way, and then transferred down to Campbell. And Campbell's doing some nice things with their program. They continue to grow. He's considered a true press cornerback, 4.3 speed, the ability to recover quickly if beaten. He was in rookie camp with the Eagles, rookie camp with the Bears. So here's a guy with a lot of hot upside as well. So those 2 really stand out to me in terms of, guys to keep an eye on.
Yeah, the guy that stood out to me, obviously from our UFL, USFL days, of Markel Roby. He played for Houston in the UFL for 24 and 25. He's almost like an extra linebacker, right? He's gonna make the tackle from sideline to sideline. He's okay in the box. He's physical, but he's the guy that stands out. Anyone else that we should really? I know we typically go through, but the roster keeps getting longer and longer and longer. Which, as we go to the season, and compared to when we started this, right? Because we started this and there's 2 or 3 guys, and they started adding. Is there anyone else that you really want to look at here?
Well, obviously, shameless plug here. Lamaja Hearns, University of California, got a lot of starts out there as a freshman for the Bears, was all Pac-12 as a freshman, is one. And then his teammate at California, Matthew Littlejohn, you had mentioned him before he went on the show, San Antonio native, transferred to Cal. Great recovery skills, great cover guy. And the reason I mentioned those 2 Cal guys is I don't know if we have to know the demographics of our show, but I have a Cal Berkeley grad that listens to our show religiously with his kids. So that's my shameless call out to him and to the Bears. And I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I told you I'd get you this week. Chaz Kimbrough is another one that I like. He's a defensive back out of Michigan State, a 4-star recruit out of high school, 5'10", 180. Played for Houston of the UFL. So he's another one that has, pro experience. He's a smart player. He reads well. Really good. And this is important for a defensive back too. Actually, my high school coach actually complimented me about this. He said, savvy, you're in the right place at the right time. You got to understand the feel of the game. And this is something that Chaz does really well. He's not out of position. He knows where he's supposed to be. He understands the game and he makes plays, but he's got the one thing every defensive back has to have. He's a very confident player. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't play defensive back. You got to be confident.
The one thing I do notice here is that this is more of the veteran age group. They're more 25, 26, 27, while every other position groups kind of had like a kid born in 2002. But this, like, they're all 25, 26 years old. So I'm at least I think they're relying on the veteran the experience here in the defensive backfield.
Well, and one other thing too, I'll make one other shameless plug too. Being a Virginia guy, I love the Monarchs. I think ODU football is great, but Artarian, like there's a name too that I wish if I could go back in time, my parents would have named me Artarian. Isn't that a cool name? Artarian Johnson from Old Dominion University. He's another guy. He was all Sun Belt. He was all CUSA when the Monarchs were in that conference. Good tackler, plays downhill, aggressive, more of your classic safety player. But that makes my all-name team, Artarian Johnson.
There we go. All right, when we come back after a message from Complete Care, we're going to kind of discuss, does that quarterback signing, the latest quarterback signing, signify that maybe Bedwell is going to do things a little different than he has in the past? But first, a message from Complete Care.
When it comes to performance, one thing is true. You can't do your best unless you're feeling your best. Whether you're crushing it in the classroom to ace a test or pushing hard for that extra point, you have no time for downtime. So if you get sidelined by sickness or injury, just remember Complete Care. We have 3 convenient San Antonio locations, and we're open 24/7 to diagnose and treat you quickly. With X-ray, CAT scan, ultrasound, and on-site lab, we'll get you back in the game. Nowhere to go. Complete Care.
Thank you to Complete Care for partnering with the San Antonio Toros. All right, Alex. So our longtime listeners, I got some feedback from listeners that listen to Hammer Time because I wanted to reconnect with our past, just like the Toros are connecting with the original Toros. And they said, we didn't argue enough. We haven't argued enough. And I was like, listen, man, like there hasn't been a down football yet. We're building up. We're building a friendly relationship here for our new audience, and eventually we'll get into the back and forth here. And then I started thinking, you know what, we should add a segment at the end where we're just debating a little bit for a couple minutes, just something a pondering thought. Like I'm all backwards. You got me filming in the morning. We typically do this in the afternoon. So I started to think, what was the big news? And I think Kelvin Durham signing, the last quarterback signing. Obviously, quarterbacks get all the publicity. And I started to dig into him, and he kind of came through an air raid system. He followed his coach. His coach actually was the mentor of Chris Leak and also Daniel Jones. He's a quarterback whisperer, some say, at the lower levels. And he loves the air raid concepts, and he uses a lot of it, and his playbook is more complex than a typical air raid. But they add in the RPO, and this kid is dynamic. So my thought is this a sign that Bedwell might be adding a little bit of the modern RPO to the air raid a little bit more than he has traditionally? And I'm going to say yes, because this kid signifies, and with the signing of Nate Hayden and also Kelvin Durham, does this signify, because Nate Hayden is quick too, does this signify that Bedwell is going to use the quarterback run a little bit more than he has in the past? And I say yes. What says you, Alex? You're the football coach. You're the guy that I when I signed on to do this deal, I was like, I got to bring one of the better football minds that I talk to on a regular basis.
Why'd you pick me then?
I did well because there's not many. I talk a lot of basketball coaches. There's not many ex-football coaches that I talk to. And Jaron Horton wasn't available. So I brought you on. Tell me, is this his way of saying, hey, we're going to run a little bit more by signing mobile quarterbacks?
I like the idea of having a mobile quarterback, but I'm going to say no. Okay. I think that, when you look at Coach Bedwell and you sort of look at his foundation and Hal Mummy's system, the original air raid, I think what we're going to see, especially given the very short amount of time we have in preseason camp, is I think you're going to see more of your pure air raid fundamentals. So basically your vertical game, you're going to have, four concepts. Quick game, you're going to have a couple screens. Run game, maybe an inside-outside zone, maybe a little ISO. But I think you're going to see more of and that's the beauty of the air raid, is the simplicity. So I think if you start adding too much in the short amount of time you have to get ready, it kind of defeats the purpose a bit.
Fair enough. That's the reason why I brought you on the show. I just think, even though Bedwell is an air raid guy, I think that he's going to change a little bit because of this league, and we talk about it all the time, the toughest challenge is developing offensive line. So if you have a mobile quarterback, then get out of the way and maybe start adding an RPO, because now they got to start planning for that. They can't just rush forward. They gotta account for the quarterback. That maybe this is him signifying just a little bit that I got to add just a little bit to the air raid.
See, well, when you make good points like that, you want to argue with me, but I can't argue with you because that's good, sound logic.
The champ is here. The champ is
good
here.
champ, but I'm not gonna-
I
I'm
got to
not
go
gonna
steal
give
my
in to you.
son's championship belt. I just got to put it right up here.
Well, here's where I like the running quarterback. If teams want to go with a 5-man box, you can run the football. Not too many people are going to allow you to go. They're not going to go a 5-man box on defense and let you run it down the throat. I think what I like about the running quarterback is when they do slip that 6th defender in to take the run away. A good running quarterback, you can still run a 5 or 6-man box with a running quarterback all day long.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to give them the benefit. I'm not so sure about the RPO piece of it because, if you think about the air raid, how the air raid works is the plays are simple, the concepts are simple, but it's you just drill them till you can execute them better than the defense can defend them. And if you start adding too much stuff, especially in that tight window to get ready for camp, you don't want to be in a situation where you end up doing nothing well.
Yeah.
So that would just be my only thing about the offense getting too complex and adding too much.
That's the reason why
goes on. But I think early you're going to see a pure air raid. You're going to see pure air raid schemes. That's what I'd say.
Fair enough. That's the reason why I bring you on the show. That's honestly, because I think you give me insight that I don't think about.
That's life-changing information. Some of you guys can go talk to your boss about that on Wednesday or whenever the show drops. And you say, hey, you know what, boss? Did you know? You impress them. Or your girlfriend. That's another thing, too. I'm sure they want to hear all about it.
Here we go with Alex with the girlfriends and listening to us talk.
Oh, happy Mother's Day, too, by the way, before I forget, to all the moms out there.
Yeah, look at Alex with the charm. Happy Mother's Day. I wonder if the Toros are going to do anything for the Mother's Day. Probably, knowing Josh. It's 7 days a week, 365 with this football team. We did another one. We're going to talk quarterbacks next week. You should come down and leave a comment below. Tell me why Alex is wrong and that they're going to add the RPO, or leave a comment saying Brian is the smartest man in football. So
you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. All right. For Alex Allman, I'm Brian Webster. Thank you to our partners, Complete Care and South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. We did another one, Alex. So we'll see you next week. Go ahead, Alex.
Until our next visit, vamos Toros, and so long, everybody.